Let me take you through the process of making the slit opening at the leg side of almost male trousers. So stick around, watch the very end. Alright guys, so here we want to start drafting the trouser. As you can see, the pictures on display. So this will be one of the simplest illustrations you can find anywhere on the internet. Now the fabric I am using here is called Korea JONKOSO. It is a bit thicker than the regular JONKOSO, right? And then I have fabric that was left from the fabric I used in drafting the top. So this is averagely, let's just call it 2 years of fabric, right? Then here, you mark out your baseline. Now, in my previous videos, I made mention of using this rule, this T-square. Now, this will help us to get a perfect baseline, especially when you are drafting your trouser. Now, bear in mind that if your trouser base is not correct, it will affect the whole, dimension of the trouser. So this will be lapped at the base here, just like this. And then once you get a perfect point where you want it to be, then you mark out your baseline in this form. And automatically, this inch is always 2 inches, right? So you can now mark here for your 2 inches for your hemming or the folding of your trouser. So this too is essential, especially if you are sewing for many customers and you want to achieve a perfect finishing. So you need these two in marking mostly your trouser base, your top base, and of course your suit base. If you make suits, right, this is also used. So here you mark it out in this form, and then this is what you have. So by so doing, you have gotten a perfect base and side. You can now use your long ruler and continue the drafting, bearing in mind that you continue from the already marked out line all through this way. Now, in drafting this trouser that has this opening at the side, there is one important thing you will do at the hem. So which that's the essence of this tutorial. Please make sure you watch the very end, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Now after this, the next you will do is to put your length of trouser. Now the length of trouser of such trousers are always longer than the regular length. Please bear in mind the length of trousers of any trouser that has that slit at the side must be a bit longer than the regular. So let's say by extra 2 inches. So this one, I will make my length to be 44 inches as against 42 inches, right? So I mark 44 inches here for the length of my trouser, 44 inches. So when you mark this 44 inches in this form, now the next thing you will get here is to get your perfect crotch line. Now the formula we use in getting the crotch line has always been the same. Divide your hip by 4 and then use the whole answer you have for your crotch. So with the hip we have for this client is 50. So now divide by 4, the crotch is 12.5, right? 12.5. On your own discretion, you can decide to make it 12. There's still no problem. I'm doing 12.5. So you mark 12.5 in that form and then continue all through this way. And then you now mark your knee line. So how do you get your knee line? From your crotch depth, measure the distance to the hem line, divide by 2. Now remember that the regular trouser length has been increased. That means the waist to knee as well will also be what? Increased. So here is 31. Divide by 2 is 15.25. Usually we minus 3 inches from this, but because of we have increased the length of trouser by 2, we are going to minus 5 inches from this. That makes it 10.25. So here becomes my knee line. So if you have watched my previous videos on how to draft an English trouser, you will understand what I did here. Then after this, the next you will do now is to mark your hip measurement, which is 12.5 this way, and then add extra 2 inches for your crotch extension. Now, some persons might ask me, what are the areas of measurement on trouser? In case you're a first timer, we have the waist, the hip, the lap, the knee, ankle, and the trouser length. All these areas has been measured on my client, but then in drafting, we are going to make only use of the waist, the hip, the knee, the ankle, and the trouser length. We're not going to use the knee, and we're not going to use the lap in the drafting. Why is this so? For every perfect measurement, if you divide your hip over 4 plus extra 2 must be equal or slightly greater than your lap measurement divided by 2. So what am I saying? So in this case, this guy's hip is 50. That's 12.5 plus 2. That's 15.5. So this simply means that his lap cannot be more than 28 or 29 for this particular hip circumference, right? As long as your waist, your hip measurement, and lap measurements are correct, the lap must fall in between 24, 26, 26, 27, 28, 29, at maximum 30 because of the back hip extension from the back panel. So once you have known that, you don't need to use the lap anymore in drafting. Use the hip over 4 plus extra 2 inches. It covers your lap measurement. After that, now get the midpoint of this distance from the hip extension to the baseline. Here we have it to be 14.5. 14 is 7. 0.5 is 2.5. That's 7.25. You mark it in this form. After that, extend that 14.25, the 7.25, extend it to your knee line as well. Extend as well to your ankle line, 7.25. So you have these lines coming in this form. You can draw or mark a straight line that connects all through, or you can mark what they call a disjointed line, just like this, right? It's called a disjointed line. It is better off to show the gradient line on trousers. Then after that, the next you do is apply your knee circumference. And also bear in mind, such trousers that do have slits on the ankle always have or has bigger knee circumference. If your knee is 18, add extra 2 inches to that. That's 20 for a moderate fit knee circumference. So here, our knee we are going to use will be a knee of 21, 22. So if you're making of 21, that is 10.5, right? 22 is 10.11, right? So we're going to do 22 knee, that's 11. So we're going to mark 5.5 on both ends of this point. So knee is 22, so we're marking 5.5 at both ends. So if you still decide to have, that pattern of that same straight cut all through, you can still mark the same knee circumference you have on the hemline. But if you don't want to have it that way, you apply the actual ankle you want and then connect as well. So on the ankle, I'm going to have it to be 20, that's 10. So I'm marking 5 inches this way and also 5 inches this way as well. This way. Now, note important thing I will do here when we get to that stage, then I will extend this line to come up straight in this form. I will also extend this one as well to come up straight in this form as well. So once I have extended this line to come up in this form, now remember that, or rather I will tell you that this is going to be elastic on the waist and the back, and then the front will be rope and zip. So here I will mark my actual waist, which is 40, that's by 4 is 10, plus extra 1 inch only is what I need to mark on the waist circumference. Then connect the 1 inch on the waist to your real hip in this form, and then use your armhole cuff, place this way, make a curve that connects from this crotch extension to your to come up this way. This will give you your new point, right? So you don't need to mark 2 inches, or rather, can say mark if you want. Then I want to slant or slope the waistline by half of an inch, which is recommended. Then slant all through this way, something of this nature. And after that, the next you will do is to mark 2.5 inches for the pocket width opening, and then you mark 7.5 or 7 for the pocket depth as well. Then you also connect your crotch extension to your knee line, just like this. Connect your crotch extension to your knee line, just like this. Then connect your ankle line to this very point as well. And then you connect this. I like using a stretch ruler on this region. Connect this to this, just like this. And then you blend this from here to this point. As you can see how the lines are falling into place. Now it's now time for us to indicate where we want the opening to be, right? I know this is what most people are actually waiting for or looking out for. So let me just fine tune here, so that here will not be a sharp bend. Just fine tune it just this way. Now, for us to create the opening we want, we are going to decide how many inch opening do you want to have, apart from the folding allowance you have here. So here, you can decide to have it to be 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, even 7 inches. It all depends on how wide you want the leg to be. So at this point, I will open here to be 6 inches. I chose to be 6 inches right here. And then I will add or mark 1.5 inches outwards, or 1 inch outwards. Now, what most people don't understand is that you need some allowance to fold this opening very well. That half inch of closure will not be neatly enough to fold this. You need to create a space here where you can bring in 1.5 inch this way for your closure, right? So this one will have extra 1.5 on the sidelines. Be in mind that this opening could be at the side or in front of your trouser. So if you have it to be at the center of your trouser, that's somewhere here, you use facing to create the opening and then tuck it inside. So this side is what I really want to explain to us on how to go about it. So now, when cutting, let me show you how you will cut this. When cutting, you are going to carefully cut out from the 1.5 inch extension that you have created for the side opening, right? And then, since you want these 6 inches to be exact, what you do is you go a bit higher, so that the opening will have a closure at the up region. So here you go up higher and then cut from here. You cut from here all through. I know most people might not have seen this type of trouser drafting before on the internet, so that is the reason I am here to show you how all of these things could be done in easy step-by-step guide. So please, if you like what you are watching, please hit the like button and smash the subscribe button for you to be notified when I make or post new videos just like this. Subscription is free. You don't need to pay to subscribe. It's just for you to be keep a tab on the channel, so that you will know when I post or make new videos, right? So you put a notch right there, and then you cut all through this way. Cut all through this way. You cut the crotch region as well. Carefully cut this in this form. Carefully cut this out in this form as well. So once you have cut out all of this, so this is what you will have. This is what the leg should look like when you are drafting it. As you can see how the leg has an extension. So when I'm sewing, I will sew the half inch closure and I will reach here and stop. I will stitch and then fold this to give me that senator opening effect we do have at the side, right? So this is a perfect way you can draft this type of trouser. So the back is another thing as well I want to show us in this tutorial. So you fling it over this way, and then you make sure that your trouser waistline has extra 4 inches at the waist region. So I will arrange this and show you what to do as well. So now we have placed to cut or to draft the back. So what you do here is to extend the crotch line here all through this way. Please note importantly that on this knee circumference, the knee measurement is not exact of what I want. The knee is like 1 inch extra. So the actual knee I wanted could have been 20. That from the knee, which was 18 from the fitted measurement, I want a moderate knee of 20. So I added extra 1 inch on the knee here so that I will have extra half inch closure, right? And the hem as well, that the ankle here I have is 20. So what I needed was around 19. So I will use half inch on both sides to close, right? So you have to note that. Then on the crotch extension, you mark here 2 inches. The maximum you can extend here can be 2.5 or 3. So 2 inches is what I will leave here, and then that 2 inches will be tilted somewhere towards the knee. It goes all through this way. Now in this type of trouser drafting, we don't need to put 2 inches all through to the hem. Now the reason is because since we are having a very free trouser, we don't want to give room for the back panel to be heavier than the front. So we tend to cut the ankle line equal. By the time we stitch sew half inch on both sides, it will lap and fit perfectly. So having said that, now the next you will do here is to raise the back panel by 4 inches. Like I told you, the back panel will be elastic, and front will be rope and zip as well. So you raise the back panel by 4 inches. So these 4 inches you have raised the back panel now is all you need to do. And then the regular inch allowance you add at the back is meant to be 1.5. But because of the fact that we have an elastic and we need to consider the effect of the elastic, so we're going to mark here to be 2.5 or 2 inches. So let's use 2.5 so that the elastic will have room for its compression, right, or elasticity effect. So here you mark 2 inches. So what I did here at the back was to raise it by 4. If you did not see from the first time I did, raise it by 4 and then extend the line all through to the very end. Then after that, you connect this line from here, connect the line from here all through to this point, and then use your hip curve and make a little curve connection that connects the crotch region from this point to this very point. So this is how it goes. Then after you have done that, then you cut out. You cut out from here, cut out from here all through. You cut out. You cut from here as well. You cut from here as well. So this is what we have. Then you cut as well from here. So now the reason I am showing you the cutting stages of these outfits is for you to be sure of what I explained, so that you will not go and make mistake in your own time to cut something else. So I told you that I am cutting equally on the ankle, from the lap region down to the ankle. So you cut from here. So this pattern is actually tested. is something that I have used over the years and it works perfectly well as long as you are making such type of trouser. So let me bring the camera close so you see clearly. Okay, as you can still see this area very well. So the same effect you gave at the front panel, that extension is also what you are going to give at the back panel as well, right? So that same opening you have here is still what you are going to give at the back panel as well. Then you still cut from here. So this design or this pattern I'm showing you is just unique, right? It's just unique. So it's something that I have tested over the years, like I said. So when you try it out, you tell me in the comment section if it came out nicely. I would like you to share your comments or share your results in the comment section of this video. So now we have cut out this. So this is now going to serve for our pocket facing or zip flap, anyone. Then you cut the rest of the components. Also be in mind that you don't need to cut your back band anymore. Your back band has been cut out together with the 4 inches we raised. That was why we raised here by 4 inches. So this one will serve us for the band at the back. So when we now put the front one, it tallies with this, right? So let's cut the other components that we are going to need. So if you have not subscribed yet, please kindly subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It's just a way to show appreciation that you are following up or you are loving what you are seeing. And also make sure you give this video a thumbs up because I'm making this video at a very odd hour. This is 12:03 a.m. You see, 12:03 a.m. This is when I'm making this video, just to make sure I give it out to you guys to learn. Most people are sleeping by now, but I said no, I have to come and make some videos for my fans, for my subscribers, now that they have light, so that I will not run gen to make the production clear. As you can see how bright as well the video is. If I tell you it was by 12 a.m. I made this video, you won't believe it because of how I light up my sewing or my cutting environment. So this will serve me for the flap, while this will go for the pocket facing. For the pocket facing. So this is that. Now the next I will cut will be the front band. Remember that only the front we have band. So I have made video before about this on the sewing of this type of trouser. So possibly I will attach the link to the sewing of a trouser that has elastic in front to this video. So do well to click anywhere around the screen where you will see the sewing tutorial. I use the coffee brown JONKOSO as well to explain the sewing tutorial. So the sewing is the same. In case you did not get to see this pattern or part earlier, I will still show you the sewing from the parts that I want to show you the side opening effects. So you also cut the band here to be 4.5 and make sure that you remember to keep fabric for the top band, like the band we did earlier on before this particular video. So you cut it out from here. It goes all through this way. 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 So this is what we have for the band, right? Which I will still reduce later on. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. So I will make time to show you the sewing parts only on the side closure, but the rest part of the sewing the pocket fixing, the zip fixing, the band fixing will be solely around this video. So click the link you're seeing at the top left corner or the top right corner of this video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now.